Have you ever fallen in love with an adaptation of a book you never even read before? How about a game you've never actually played? If you're anything like me, you spent thousands of hours watching Let's Plays on YouTube in the past 10 years, and chances are you're not special. Nobody actually plays their favorite games anymore. They just experience them. It sounds stupid, right? But if you give me a chance, I'll prove it. You don't actually like video games as much as you think you do. It's a tale as old as YouTube. A new hyped up game releases, blows up, and your brain immediately knows the deal. You sit back, grab some snacks, and dive right into 2-hour, sometimes 4 or 5 hour long gameplay videos from your dream rotation of YouTubers. They typically last longer than feature-length films, yet you still go out of your way to not only watch one guy play a cool game and review it, but to watch several different creators replay the same exact game sequences and events with no true intention of buying the game for yourself. You don't clear a weekend to play that 30-hour cinematic masterpiece anymore, or even just grab that $10 gem on your lunch break and play a few levels. It's just free, easy digestible entertainment at this point. You don't have to learn new controls or die to the Cuphead and Resident Evil bosses 20 times to finish a game anymore. You don't need to earn that satisfaction at the end of a game like Getting Over It or Undertale. You don't even want to. Why would you when you could just turn your brain off and treat yourself to an entire TV series worth of episodes and get those sweet endorphins on demand? A full playthrough is comparable in Netflix limited series experience these days. Being super binge-worthy is just a bonus for the YouTube algorithm. If you're already feeling sorta attacked, just take a moment to consider that I'm sorta talking about myself here too. I also watch a lot of Let's Plays, and yet have only played a small section of my total wish list to this day. I'm at the point where saying I love this game, even though I've never played it, doesn't feel like I'm being disingenuous or even missing out or anything. It just feels normal. Why is that? So, has brain rot truly gone too far for us to even play games anymore? Is it an issue of too many great options thanks to algorithmic suggestion and manipulation? Or maybe video games really are finally getting too expensive for the average person, almost like a luxury now? Not exactly. Gaming is actually more readily available and widely accessible than ever right now, and the indie $10 banger has become the new norm. So why aren't people playing these games? The usual suspects actually fall into one of 3 clear categories: friction, passivity, and social. Friction. This is when a potential player avoids playing a good game they're interested in because it's seemingly too much of a hassle or chore to them. Too scary, too difficult, or too expensive. With the fear factor usually scaring away anxious or cozy gamers who still really like the narrative and lore of most times, Let's Play commentary can add a needed degree of separation, kinda like keeping the lights on during a horror movie. For difficulty, combat-heavy or crazy puzzle games are very common and can get tedious or induce rage, souring the entire experience for those who game recreationally. And for cost, great games may also be exclusive to expensive gaming consoles and PCs that interested gamers just don't have or plan on buying anytime soon. Some games look fun, but then again, it's a gamble of over $60. Meanwhile, Let's Play is a free experience. Passive experience. This one instead happens because a potential player believes the game will either be too easy or lack substantial gameplay and variety to justify their commitment, but they remain interested in the game for narrative and or social reasons. A game lacking substantial or challenging gameplay mechanics besides walking is very common these days, with the quaint term walking simulator. Maybe it's even just a big cinematic playable movie like Until Dawn, Dispatch, or The Quarry, enjoyed as a movie more than a challenging game. Sometimes a game only has one ending and a set of pre-planned sequences and timed events and cutscenes that very often play out the same no matter how you play it. And lastly, players sometimes just want a passive narrative experience without grinding, stress, extra work, or trial and error. Social, emotional reasons. The last category tends to be the first one you hear when actually confronting someone who has this habit. They do like video games, but they love this one creator, or maybe have a comfort streamer who can make any game or crappy attempt at a game feel entertaining. Think about how many Let's Plays were only watchable because of your favorite YouTuber playing along and doing commentary over it the whole time, editing it down to their viewers' preferences, and naturally highlighting the funniest and scariest moments. Besides, a lot of you just want to see unfiltered reactions of certain parts of a game, like with streamers, or death scenes, plot twists, boss battles, and big rage games. Sometimes it's sweet, warm nostalgia. If you still watch any of the OG gaming YouTubers, chances are your reasons do fall into one of those three categories, and that's okay. There are way too many gamers to count who don't just love video games entirely for the mechanics or cool achievements. There is, and always have been, a lot of merit in the community surrounding a game or franchise as well. More than all the practical or analytical reasons, you're there for the person that you love to watch games with. They've somehow created not only a loyal fan base of people who are usually introverted who love their personality, but a communal, safe space to talk about these great games at the same time. Viewers get to parasocially share the experience with these YouTubers through every Let's Play they upload. Even for a game you've probably already played, it creates a new, distinct experience for the viewer with every channel that uploads and streams the same game. Maybe misery loves company, sure, but so does a good game or a fun experience. I believe it dampens the experience a little bit if some things aren't able to be shared publicly. Some people need to share their interests with others. And for those without a solid community in real life, a good rotation of creators they can relate to can be a genuinely helpful asset to their life, unlike doom scrolling or being rage baited in the Steam community tab of their favorite game. These creators might not usually love the game as much as they do, or maybe they will, but what matters to their fan base isn't an articulate, qualitative feud review of their favorite or obscure games. It's about the feeling, that feeling of familiarity and nostalgia. It might remind us of the good old days playing Nintendo or PlayStation with your older brother and cousin at a family gathering. You're thrown back into time to you making your big brother beat all the hard or scary levels and play the violent games you were too young to handle as a kid. You still get that game-like experience minus the stress. The key difference here is, as nice as that feels, these content creators aren't your brothers or even a loose friend. They are a tastefully curated personality that you enjoy through only the lenses which they allow, and this can start to make it hard for you guys to realize you do still have agency. You can play those hard puzzles and boss battles of the game now. You're older. In-depth, easy to follow wiki tutorials and mods and cheats are all over the subreddits and internet for you to discover. You're old enough to buy rated ending games all alone now. You have a big boy job now, as well as a few dollars to risk on what might just be a life-changing experience for you and your real friends. If you would just take that leap of faith, immerse yourself in a dimly lit room with headphones on and play games, you might be shocked by how much deeper your personal love and connection with that game really gets. A lot of people have grown way too accustomed to something I'm going to call the viewer advantage. And yes, your declining attention span does finally play a role here. One of the main roles of the YouTube algorithm, or most algorithms for that matter, is to demand that you retain your viewers for as long as possible and encourage them to give your channel their undivided attention. All the while, you're meant to strategically steer them toward the next interesting thing in a nearly continuous momentum. Why do you think I'm not sitting here talking to you behind a black screen or an out-of-focus video of paint drying? Watching is being designed to immediately feel better. Watching games is already easier than playing games yourself. It's cheaper than playing your whole entire wish list, and all of the frustration and struggle with game mechanics and confusing pacing is kind of just sugar-coated for you. Even in the case of an objectively horribly paced, unoriginal game, editing and commentary eat the bitter peels and husks in silence, leaving the viewers with a sweet, highlighted fruits of the labor that they now feel they've just journeyed through in one jump cut. They can accidentally create this curated illusion of a balanced, stimulating release the viewer never actually had. Watching the game be played becomes a better, fuller experience overall, and feeds the same delusions that lead to an overwhelmingly positive score or 60-minute walk and press E simulator with the occasional spooky event. In a separate video, I'm planning to touch on this, but you're not crazy if you've been feeling like everyone is out to waste a lot more of your time lately, including your own favorite games, unfortunately. They've had run times with so many fetch quests and taking out the trash tasks, while also keeping strict fail states that require retracing your steps through several minutes of repetitive timed events if you want to finish one game. This viewer advantage, which only content creators and their editors can provide, becomes a runaway victor when competing against traditional gaming and media for your time. They can't afford to lose you like a prepaid game might. To sort of stay on theme here, I'll only take a few more minutes of your time to remind you that what motivates you into action is a valuable resource. It's so highly sought after, in fact, that marketing and retention have become a multi-billion-dollar business venture. Your choice to click on one thing and then read another, to log out of one boring game in favor of opening the next one, are what companies obsess over down to your last millisecond of interaction. You inherently owe your time to no one but yourself, yet you've been stuck. Probably for months or years, you've been in this quietly passive state of mind, engaging in mostly non-productive behaviors for no reason other than habit. My goal here isn't to shame you for being a passive consumer of this simple, instead of an active gamer or some kind of great workhorse philosopher guy. I just want you to rediscover at least a piece of the pleasure of active, not passive engagement. Next time you get excited for a new game on your wish list to release, act on it. Pick one game, old or new, you've been dreaming about getting into or finishing for years, and actually go play it. Unlock new achievements, join the conversation about niche and stupid aspects of this video game, aspects you would have never gotten a full understanding of through just a video. Finish what you started. I actually spent a lot of time debating how to say exactly what I wanted to say in this video while still conveying my own kind of like unique tone as a new creator. You guys are just kind of getting to know me, and without getting too preachy, is like, do I want to sound like one of those serious essay channels with the marvelous English accents and editing, or just a real but painfully newbie YouTuber who kind of stumbles through the script? It took too many days for me to just force myself to go at it raw and see how far I could get. I guess I was unlikely to get any immediate feedback or payoff nonetheless, but I know without a doubt that I wouldn't have if I never even finished this, if I never even released anything at all. Just trust me on this. I just want to leave you guys with a few things. I know not every game is meant to be played in solitary confinement, but you'd be surprised by how many great gaming experiences you're missing out on by allowing yourself to mitigate all the risk of paying to gamble on a gem. You don't even have to read a bad review or go watch it on your lunch break and just end your experience there. It's not fair to yourself or your abilities to pretend you're too bad at PvP or puzzles to join the discussion. Go watch it, sure, but still pick up the full game on sale later this year. Why not? The point is that I just wanted to remind you guys how much you matter. To me, sure, but also to every creator or you subscribe to or keep up with watching. Most companies and entertainers would not be here if someone hadn't given them their precious time at least once. Thank you.